the necessity of proof always lies with the person who lays the charge. Welcome to Steelman, where we discuss critical thinking and debate. Today, I'm going to be explaining to you what is the burden of proof. The burden of proof, it's a term that is now widely used. You can hear it in simple discussion, in debate, in law, pretty much everywhere you can hear about it. And basically, it is the obligation to give proof to a claim. So, whenever you're stating something, you need to provide some proof, some evidence of that. Like, it doesn't need to be necessarily extensive, but like you need some type of proof. You need to provide an explanation. Really simple example: you go to the store, and then the person who's trying to sell you something tells you that this product is better than the other product, but he doesn't tell you why. He just tells you, this one is better. Now, the burden of proof is on him. Like, he should provide some evidence of that, right? Obviously, in that tiny example, you're not gonna ask for, you're gonna ask for more, but it's not to the extent where you're gonna say, oh, no, the burden of proof is on you, because this is not a debate necessarily. So, but this is a really simple example. So, this term has originated a while back. Like, it has been there probably since the height of the Roman Empire. So there was even a term for that, which is semper necessitas probenti incumbit e qui agit. Something like that, which translates to the necessity of proof always lies with the person who lays the charge. So it has been there for quite a while. Right now, in the modern world, the burden of proof is a term that you could hear about pretty much everywhere, in all places. But in the case of the law, it seems that before, the burden of proof was placed on the person who was defending himself, right? So on the defendant, right? But over time, it shifted to the prosecution, so the person who was in charge, right, trying to prove the other one guilty, beyond unreasonable doubt, right? So basically, if you were to accuse me of something, back then I had to prove that I was innocent, right? But nowadays, if you are accusing me of something, you need to prove that I am guilty. So there's a slight nuance, the person who needs to provide the evidence, the proof, is the person who makes the claim, right? So this is in a case of law. So we're talking about heavy stuff, criminal cases, that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's the kind of things that it is in the mainstream right now. You will hear this term often in debate. It is something that is widely used, and so places where you will probably hear about it is field like science, philosophy, debate, and much others. Why should you know about the burden of proof, right? So I think it's really important to know about it, because it's something that can be, especially in your daily life, it's something that can be abused of in discussion, right? People, they will make some claim, they will ask you to prove that it is not true, but they made the claim themselves. Mini example, I say that I saw some alien in the sky the other night, and so this is my claim. But then my friend asked me for some evidence of that being true, and then instead of providing some evidence, I tell him, well, no, you should be the one to provide some evidence for that, right? But the burden of proof is on me. I should provide the evidence. I made the claim, I provide the evidence. So this is the kind of thing that leads you, that can easily lead you to the burden of proof fallacy. The fallacy of the burden of proof, it's something that occurs when someone makes a claim without evidence and asks the other person to disprove it, right? The one who makes the claim possesses the burden of proof and therefore should have some evidence of that, right? So if you say something, provide some evidence. It's a pretty simple example, but I think when I heard about that, like the first time, I realized that so many, and you hear that like pretty much everywhere. People, they make claims and they don't provide some evidence. You hear it in the media, sometimes in school, whatever. Like you can hear it everywhere once you pay attention to it, once you really like listen to others. Another more bigger example. This is a non-trial. This is not related to a trial. This is not related to any law. But in the 15th century, people believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, right? And at some point, a mathematician named Nicholas Copernicus arrived and challenged that idea. He provided some arguments with his theory, but they were simply rejected, right? He had the burden of proof because he was the one who made the claim. Okay? If he had said something like, because at the time, like the church was the authority. So if he had said something like, "But church, you should prove to us that the earth is at the center of the universe," it would have been ridiculous, right? Obviously, like this is not a trial. It would also have been like a perfect example of the burden of proof fallacy, right? Because he was the one who came with the claim. He needed to provide the evidence, and obviously, like it was back then, things were really different. The church was the authority, and it's not something that it is the case today. And most people, I'm pretty sure, like over there, it's the case as well, right? So, yeah, like that's a perfect example, I think. Second example of that is one of a trial, which perhaps you probably heard about recently, regarding Johnny Depp. So in 2022, Johnny Depp filed a lawsuit to his ex-wife, Amber Heard, for defamation, right? So he claimed that she negatively impacted his career with the allegation that she had made previously. So in that case, the burden of proof was on his team of lawyer to prove that she actually defamated him, because they were the one who made the claim. They were the one who like take the charge and like say they were the one to make the claim. So it was their responsibility to prove that she was guilty of that claim. All right. So that's pretty much it for the burden of proof definition, fallacy. I hope it was insightful to you. I hope it's something that you took something out of it. If you have any example of that or any question, you can put it in the comment section, and I'll be reviewing them. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.